Good morning, I'm Carlos Diaz, along with Julia Burks, Julia Moffett, and Chuck Lofton. Welcome back for an extra shot of sunrise.
Yes.
And of course, Julia is back this morning just in time to be here. If you were here earlier this week, we had great Florida weather, but now not so much.
Now it's like Nashville weather, right?
When you come back from Florida, Julia has personal interest in Florida. I've got a boy in Florida, so I like to get there as good. So does Carlos. Does your body feel weird when you come back in this weather, like when it's changing? Yours does?
I cry a lot.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, okay, but one thing my wife always says is that 60 degrees feels colder in Florida
Yeah,
than it does
that is
in
so
Indiana.
true.
I think
No
it's the
doubt.
alarm clock is probably putting you in more
You're
shock
right.
than the
That's
weather.
probably all
Probably
that it is, actually. No, and I love fall. I'm not kidding you. Actually, we had cooler weather there in the evenings where, you know, it's bearable to be outside and dine outside.
Well, you know, today's the beginning of autumn, or at least tonight,
Yeah.
and I want to show you what it's going to look like tonight. Right now, it is 60 degrees. That is it. And we're going to warm up to 63 by 11 a.m., eventually a high of only 68. That's after hitting 93 yesterday. The good thing is we predicted this. To Julia, the bad thing is we predicted this.
Yeah.
65
And you were
tomorrow.
right.
Oh, by the way, tomorrow, that's the high 65. Tomorrow morning, 45 degrees. Julia and I are going to be at Lucas Oil Stadium, but not hanging around outside.
No.
We're going to be inside to talk all things Colts. Operation Football tomorrow night, falling through the 50s for Purdue. And for the Circle City Classic, certainly cooler than average for both of those events. And then here's the biggie. Man, we got to beat the Chiefs. There's just we got to beat them. Kickoff 1 p.m. I don't know whether they'll open the roof or not.
Oh, that's like beautiful.
It's
roof
perfect.
open
That
weather.
is perfect. But there could be an isolated shower. So what they can do, I think that the NFL says if you open it, you got to keep it open. But at halftime, if I understand that, if that's not right, I didn't say it. But I understand that at halftime you could close it. So, you know,
Okay.
we'll see.
Okay.
There you go.
The weather's going to be perfect.
Okay, sounds good.
Loving it. Well, IMPD officers had quite the task on their hands when they got a call to help remove some raccoons on the southwest side. So take a look. IMPD actually shared this video with us saying that they eventually released the unwanted guests from custody and warned them never to return. So I realized, is this somebody's home? It looks like, I guess, yeah. So they also suggested the pair find better housing options.
You can hear the officer when he walks in. He's like, "Oh my gosh, there's two of them." So I guess
Y'all ever been bit by a raccoon?
I can't say that I have.
I
No,
was as a
it's not.
child.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, the gentleman who lived by us did have papers to prove he was sane. But raccoons in a cage, and so I was a little kid and I went out there and.
I grew up with a friend who they had a raccoon as a pet.
Yeah,
In their
he thought these
house.
were pets. Oh, in their house?
Yes, like it was like petting, just like a dog.
But see, and Julia was talking about crazy videos yesterday.
Yeah.
If you go down the rabbit hole on YouTube of raccoons, you know, being like insane, there's a lot of videos out there where raccoons are just ferocious, you know,
I think
and so.
raccoons are cute though.
But see, I just after watching these
They're
videos,
not cute after being bit
I
by one.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yes, totally.
I
I would not get up close and personal, but I have been down that rabbit hole, Carlos, actually, because I was like, this is okay, very random, but we used to have some raccoons in the back of our old station that used to hang out in the trash can, and so like sometimes when you would depending on if it was your job to take the trash out, I'd be like, okay, you want to
Wait,
know
at your station, it was your job to take the trash out?
listen,
Okay,
I
I have
said what
so
I
many
said.
questions.
I said what I said, all right? So you're taking the trash out, but you got to be like, oh no, the raccoon family, like sometimes they may be in there. And so that was the first time I'm like, I looked in the eye and I was like, hey, it's kind of cute. Didn't mean that I wanted to touch it, but I was like, oh, they're cute. And so I looked up raccoon videos and I was like, oh wow,
the video of the woman who goes up, she goes
Those are
after the
not cute.
raccoon with the broom, and the raccoon like is coming at her like, what do you got? What do you got?
Oh,
I mean,
my
it's
goodness.
yeah, it's really that's the one that scared
so the
me.
moral of the
So,
story
yeah,
is don't
okay.
mess with the raccoons,
Okay.
basically.
There we go.
Okay, so
Wildlife.
It is a job well done for a herd of goats in Chicago. They actually just wrapped up their summer season. They've been chowing down on the overgrown vegetation at O'Hare International Airport, and it's not new. This is actually the 9th year that goats and other grazing animals have worked to help clear away scrub and vegetation surrounding the airport. This is a part of an eco-friendly program that's helping keep that airfield safe and maintained. rain. So now the animals are not done. They're just going to go to a warmer area as the cooler weather approaches and do the same thing there. And Chuck was explaining this to me earlier this morning, and that made a lot of sense. Yeah.
That's where I'm from, and the reason they did this several years ago, I guess 2013, initially was because of the steep embankments over by that United hangar. If you've ever been to O'Hare, you can't miss this thing. The embankments were so steep that it was very dangerous to mow that stuff. So somebody came up with the idea from the Department of Agriculture, let's put goats out there. They monitor those things and see, do grazing herds actually reduce that kind of issue, and they do. There's no question. It's been very successful.
I have seen videos where they bring in herds to get invasive plants off of areas, and if they film it and they put it in fast motion, it's incredible what they eat. It is really cool. It's a good idea.
Well, this is Chicago, so the curse of the billy goat, we all know about that if you're a Cubs fan.
The Cubs fan, you bet.
It's a great story if you have not heard that, as far as somebody brought a billy goat to a game at Wrigley Field and they were told to leave, and he cursed the Cubs and they didn't win a World Series for how many? 108
Until
years.
2016.
Yeah, there we go.
Sheesh.
Hey, so Ted Lasso believed, and now he has officially been promoted to video game character. I love this. EA Sports, Electronic Arts, announced that Ted Lasso, seen here, that's not him, that's the video game version of him. Isn't that great? And his football club, AFC Richmond, will appear in FIFA 23. The Apple TV Plus show became a worldwide hit. And with the addition to FIFA, fans will now have to be able to manage the Greyhounds themselves, which I think is awesome. I want to know if they are the Ted Lasso isms in there. Users will be able to coach some of the iconic players like Jamie Tart, Danny Rojas, Roy Kent. And of course, they can hire Ted Lasso or Coach Beard to do it as well. FIFA 23 comes out September 30th. So.
Will I ever watch Ted Lasso?
Oh my gosh, yes.
To watch.
It is so good.
Because I will understand those references a little bit better. I read this earlier this morning. I'm like, this is like a cool idea, but I was like, I feel like if I was a little bit more invested into the show, I was more excited.
I resisted for a long time, and then once I watched it, now
How many
I'm just
seasons
like,
are out now?
I
though?
think
Two seasons. Two, and there's going to be a third.
Okay, so as long as there's going to be a
There's only
third.
three
I was saying,
seasons.
I'm intimidated if there's too many seasons, and if there's not enough, and they're like, well, we don't know if it's going to be renewed for it. I'm
That
like,
won't be
I don't wanna
enough.
hear it.
No,
If it's not,
they said they're doing 3 seasons and that's it. So
I hate
they
a
had 2 down,
cliffhanger.
1 to go. So
Okay.
there you go.
I will try
That's
it
going to
out.
do it for this edition of Extra Shot. For Julia and Jalea and Chuck, I'm Carlos. Have a great Thursday. Don't forget, tomorrow morning on Sunrise, these two are going to be down at Lucas Oil Stadium getting ready for the Colts game against the Chiefs on Sunday. It's the home opener.
Yeah.
We'll be celebrating tomorrow morning on Sunrise. Enjoy your Thursday.
Guys.